We've got a good one. Where are NATO's fighter pilots trained? Check out the original video in the description, but let's get into it.
If you had to guess where Danish or Belgian fighter pilots learned how to fly, would you say Texas? It seems unlikely, but it's true. For 40 years, aspiring pilots from more than a dozen NATO nations have traveled to the USA to learn how to fly at Shepherd Air Force Base, home to the Euro-NATO Joint Jet Pilot Training Program.
So basically, do they all get to experience Top Gun? No, Texas, US, it's the weather, isn't it? Scandinavian countries, the UK, we just can't guarantee good weather. I bet you that's the reason.
We're looking for that drive, that determination. A lot of people naturally have.
And it's open space as well, above land.
Ingrained in them, and that's why they chose this profession.
I'm not going to lie, this has got to be most kids' dreams, isn't it? To be an actual fighter pilot. What an absolute surreal experience, travelling 600-700 miles an hour, picking off targets, dogfighting in the air. Like, should have tried harder at school, plus I've got crap eyesight as well. I'm pretty much colourblind, so I can't do it.
Welcome to Texas. It's a long way from Europe, but if NATO student pilots are going to become fully fledged military aviators, they still have a long way to go.
I wanted to become a pilot since I was a small boy, and when I joined the Air Force just after high school, I decided that going for the pilot path was my dream.
Everyone wishes to have an impact on the world, and that's how I think I can make the biggest impact.
So is this where they all come together, or is it just nations send their pilots, that nation's pilots train, and then another nation's, or is it literally just a mixture of different nations' pilots that all literally train together to get the basic understanding? Because obviously a lot of countries use different air systems, so they have to train on different air systems, but I'm guessing this is overall just getting their sort of license.
These young men and women are stepping into a decades-long tradition of multinational training. More than 40 years ago, several NATO allies wanted to find a more efficient way to train fighter pilots. They decided then to set up a joint course at Shepherd Air Force Base, where frequently clear skies made for an ideal training environment.
It was founded in October of 1980 and initially had a few partners. Germany and the US have been training together. It has since grown to 14 nations that send us instructors, students.
Today, this course
is pretty cool, isn't it? And like I said, clear skies, it's sort of weather, huge amount of land that they have. You don't always want to be training in crap weather, misty weather, cloudy weather. You want clear skies so you can see what you want to be doing. And it's surprising how many women you actually see, training to be fighter pilots, which is obviously a good thing.
This works like a microcosm of the larger alliance, from the nations involved to the way they make decisions.
It allows us to get from the very beginning of our military careers an appreciation and understanding of the cultures of our allies.
When student aviators arrive, they undergo an intensive academic course known as ground school. After that, it's on to their first aircraft, the T-6 Texan II.
I can only imagine how much academic learning there must be before you can even take flight in an aircraft like these. There must be so much book reading, death by PowerPoint, to really get an understanding of what the job entails and what you really need to know. You've got to be someone it's got to be pretty academic to be a pilot, I would say. It's not all practical, is it?
Prop jet designed to teach them the fundamentals of flight, including takeoffs, landings, and formations.
The first time climbing the T6 was really exciting because we've been so much in the simulator, but still it's really hard to prepare for the real thing. So just getting to do the ground operations and pressing all the right switches at the right moment was quite difficult, but as you get more experienced, it becomes more and more natural. Flying the T6,
and that is like one picture you want, isn't it? Dressed like that. Everyone wants a picture like that to hang on their wall. Just so alley.
It's an awesome experience. It's a really powerful aircraft. You can pull some G's and do some aerobatics in the area, so that's really nice.
Some students then move on to the T-38 Talon, a jet fighter trainer capable of supersonic speeds and dizzying feats of aerobatics.
No way, supersonic speed. It's something that looks actually really old. You know, the old propeller plane, the T6, what was this, the T-36, T-30, I think they said. It looks like an old jet, but something that is still really good for them to use today and super quick.
Going from the T6 Texan to a supersonic jet trainer, obviously a lot faster. You get some afterburner, that's pretty fun.
In the beginning, first flight I had on T38, you light the afterburners and you just release the brakes and you feel the afterburners kick in for the first time. It's an amazing feeling. T38 is difficult. You get to push yourself to your limits.
T38, sorry.
Information you have to monitor the other aircraft. You have to match him, you have to be able to anticipate.
All the while, students are immersed in a multinational environment.
A student might have an Italian flight commander and a German squadron commander.
See, that's got to be pretty difficult, and it is good to understand how other nations work, how they conduct themselves, their cultures, their traditions, learning tactics from them. But obviously those guys have got to understand and learn English. Obviously, I'm guessing English is the main language that's being spoken, but then you get accents that get in the way, and sometimes there can just be conflicts on how things do. So this is, I'm guessing, where NATO, they have to sort of come together and agree on, this is how we're going to train them, this is exactly how we're going to do it, and then they're sort of getting over that language barrier.
The point is we as NATO can truly come up with the most efficient and best practices for our air forces.
I'm really excited.
For students, the days start early and end late. They sacrifice sleep for study time, leisure for long sessions in the simulator.
Totally get that, but I'm guessing you need some sleep to be able to fly something like this, especially when you're still learning. But like I said, the amount of academic work that must go into this, and must constantly be at it. Your life is just this. Like if you're going for special forces selection, this just takes over your life.
Being a military aviator takes more than raw skill. It takes grit.
A lot of the folks that arrive here are the best of the best of the best. They're the top 10% in their classes. Many of them are not used to failing, but they are put in challenges, frankly, just not natural for the human body and the human mind. And oftentimes they meet with failure for the first time in their lives. And the big thing that we emphasize to them is that's okay. You move past it, you learn from it, and that experience of those little micro failures so that you can ultimately reach success is probably one of the greater assets of this program.
There's a reason behind the marathon study sessions and the long days in the cockpit. These men and women aren't just pilots. They're military officers sworn to protect their country and their allies. Should NATO need to defend itself, some of that responsibility will fall on their shoulders.
And as we've seen, you've got to win the skies. Look at Ukraine, Russia, okay? There's a lot going on up there, and you want to be able to handle that pressure. You want to handle any situation that you get put in front of, and be able to obviously use the aircraft to the best of your ability. So something like this is absolutely brilliant.
The conflict that is going on right now in Ukraine has definitely changed the tenor. Definitely focus everyone's attention, make sure that they are on point and trying to do not just enough to get by, but to be the best they can in the event that sometime in the future they are called to serve the NATO alliance.
When the students pass their final flights, there's only one thing left to do: figure out which aircraft they'll spend their careers flying. They find out.
Which one do you want? It's got to be the F-35, possibly.
At a ceremony called Drop Night.
What the hell? They don't actually do this, do they? Look at that. This is definitely an American idea to do it like this. The Americans have come up with this. But yeah, the F-35, see?
Usually it's a ton of emotions, a ton of excitement. The class is there for support.
F-15E.
Everyone loves celebrating as a class.
This is crazy. Look at this. What a celebration.
I want to fly the F-16, the Viper. It's the only fighter aircraft we have in Belgium, but it's a good one.
Hi, Jade, where are you going? Spunky. Jade Spunky. Where has she got that nickname from? Okay.
Working together with student pilots from almost all over the world has been for me like the best thing that's happened to me in my life, I would say. You get friends that you will have for life. You will most probably work with them in the future.
It's a thrilling moment, and NATO's newest pilots carry themselves with hard-earned pride. From here, it's back to their home countries to train on their assigned aircraft and prepare themselves for the task of securing NATO skies.
So America is just where they learn the fundamentals and the basics, but do they actually stay on that platform for the rest of their career, or would they actually transfer to future other platforms? Obviously, if that platform gets disbanded and a new, goes out of service and a new one comes in after thingy, but will she always stay on the F-16 if it's in service, or in the future can she move on to future ones? C-130, okay, Hercules transport aircraft for the Royal Danish Air Force. He hasn't gone down the fast air route, fighter jets. He's gone on to the C-130 Hercules. Absolutely brilliant aircraft. Used to jump out the back of these. I love it. Well, the side of them. Really interesting to know. I obviously did not know that a lot of the pilots in NATO go over to America. Makes sense with the country, but I didn't realise they actually all sort of train together and under one. I think it's a brilliant idea for sharing tactics, manoeuvres, how everyone can work, especially if NATO Article 5 is called, you're going to be working together anyway. And I know that's what a lot of countries are doing now. They're training on sort of foreign exercises, trying to understand how everyone works, whether that's communications, artillery, infantry tactics, and obviously same for when working in the air. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.